Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 36 of the Crushing Through Life podcast with your hosts, Rob and Jim. This is a show of two friends improving our lives through fitness, career, relationships, goals, and daily challenges. If you like what you hear, please check us out at all of our links at this link, linktree.com/crushing through life. That's linktree.com/crushing through life, where you can find us and all of our socials and follow us and drop us a line. Today is October 20th, 2021. And as always, let's begin with today's quote. The future rewards those who press on. I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to complain. I'm going to press on. And that quote comes from Barack Obama. I think we all know who that is. But in case you don't, he is an American politician, author, retired attorney who served as the 44th president of the United States of America from 2009 to 2017. Member of the Democratic Party, Obama was the first African American president of the United States. He previously served as a U.S. Senator from Illinois from 2005 to 2008. And as an Illinois state senator from 1997 to 2004. Outside of politics, Obama has published 3 best-selling books, Dreams from My Father, The Audacity of Hope, and A Promised Land. That's a very, very good quote. I really like that quote. The future rewards those who press on. I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to complain. I'm going to press on. It's like no matter what life throws at you, you just got to keep going. Just got to keep chugging along. You just can't spend time feeling sorry for yourself, feeling down for yourself. And I think I really felt that when I read this quote today. I thought the past week it's been pretty rough in my personal life. So that's a great quote to go by.
Pretty rough. What's going on, buddy? Talk to me.
I mean, I mentioned in my last on the last episode that my wife has been going through some medical issues, and I've been kind of taking that emotionally recently, on top of some work stress with these projects that I have going on, and they're very complicated. But there's a lot going on in terms of my personal life with making sure we're going to be well off in the future, and we're always heading in the right direction. Whether that's going to be, our child doing well, like succeeding in school, our financial situation, and all that. I always feel, and even our health, I always feel like it's always just an uphill battle with the daily grind and making sure that our whole household situation is going to be successful, right? And whatever comes our way, and then it always happens when tough news comes our way, or we're always facing difficulty. It brings a lot of emotion out of my partner and I always felt like I'm an emotional person. So either if I'm dealing with something personally, or if my wife is dealing with something personally and I'm fine, I usually take that emotion pretty hard, right? Because I always, I feel sorry for her. So the past week and a half, I would say probably 2 weeks, has been a bit of a spiral for me, where I feel like I've kind of been in a depressive episode, where it's led me to just not kind of work out at all and not be focused on exercising and eating poorly and all that. And it's always a never-ending cycle with me in regards to that. But
it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough to have the motivation when you're depressed.
Yeah.
And then you're probably hard on yourself for not working out, which leads to, further into the cycle, I guess, of, then you're just eating unhealthy because you don't feel like, it takes way more effort to eat healthy than it takes. Like, you can just be lazy and go get fast food. It takes, no time. It's no effort, right? Like, it takes effort to be healthy. And that's when you don't feel that motivation at all, it's really tough.
Yeah.
To get out of that cycle. Well, it's, it's disappointing to hear that. I guess, I know you've battled through sort of cycles like this, even throughout the summer, you were saying, and then you just bounce back. So I
Yeah.
know you'll get through it,
Right.
and
And I
hopefully you guys
thank
are
you.
all right.
And I have reflected on this past like couple of weeks, and it's actually kind of funny because I felt like this more than just a week or 2 weeks prior to um let's say 2 years ago, where we started working out on a daily basis. So like let's say, I don't know, let's say like 5 years ago, for example, like I always felt like I've been in this state for a long period of time, over like, let's say a year or a course of a year and a half. And it really hit me hard when I turned 30. When I was 29 going into 30. I went to a bit of a depression where like I wasn't happy with my life, and I wasn't happy with my career, my trajectory, and all that. So you go into that spiral, downward spiral a little bit. But like that sort of stuff leads you to just kind of doing negative things towards your body, whether it's like you're being lethargic, you're being lazy, you don't work out, you eat unhealthy because you don't feel like it, and it's really tough until you literally talk to somebody, whether it be your spouse, a friend, a family member, a therapist. My wife is a huge advocate for therapy, and she's taught me a lot since I met her, and I appreciate that very much about her. And this past 2 weeks, it led to something that was a realization in me that was very positive, because I've been in this state before. Like I've been in this like kind of episode before. I just kind of feel down, like just generally down, because there's just too many like difficult things to juggle. So you try to find an escape, whether that, like for me, that's like playing video games. But I know the state where that I was in, and because I knew the state that I was in, and I know how to get out of it, and I know what to do to get out of it, it was much easier, because I knew mentally, like I had the tools mentally to know how to navigate myself out of this emotional state, right?
So what kind of steps do you take then? I guess if someone else is going through it. Like what helps you?
So talking, like literally
them?
talking. I actually had an emotional talk with my wife. I felt like, and this. Okay, so let's go on a side story for a little bit. So for those that don't know, Jim and I were in a band, and we're talking about getting together to jam again in November. So we're doing that, right? So we decided to get together as a band and jam and look forward to, and I very much look forward to that day, because I love that whole experience of getting together with my friends and just jamming, making music, whatever. And I told that to my wife, and it's like I'm looking forward to that so much. And I thought about it, and it made me emotional, because like I would love for that, like obviously do that every week. I mean, just the once in a while type of thing is great. And she's like, that's because it's not only just getting together with your friends and making and just having a good time, but it's also your creativity side. You're probably in this emotional state because you're lacking your creativity side a lot, because you feel like you want to be on that stage again, or you want to make something that's creative, right? Not because your life is very technical all the time. But I guess this podcast could be could be another way of looking at something that's creative. But
yeah, it's definitely a form of creative output. I mean, it's like obviously making music is just a different variant of that.
For sure. There's always like this void or gap that I feel like is missing in my life that would that I feel is going to make me happy. And but anyways, besides all that, my a mutual friend of ours actually reached out to me, which I thought was really cool, who's in our group, because in our daily workout group, we post that we work out every day, and then we increment our number by 1. Obviously, I haven't been doing that for some time, and he just sent me a private message saying, "Hey, I've noticed that you haven't worked out in a week. What's going on?" And like seeing that message was like, all right, well, let's get into it, right? And I just kind of went into, obviously, I'm missing a lot of detail in this conversation that we're having right now, but I went into greater detail of what's going on in my life,
Right.
and in like greater detail of what the medical issues that my wife's facing and all that, just to kind of throw it all out there. And it was great to have a soundboard who who's another friend of mine who's reaching out, who's concerned like what's going on, and is also a parent and relates to a lot of the things that are going on in my life. And it helped me a lot, to be honest. So I would say talking for sure. So like that mental tool of just talking to somebody who legitimately cares about you and wants you to succeed. Reach out to them, and sometimes you can't because you don't. I didn't even think about it at the time to reach out to a friend to talk. Someone did, right? So that's pretty cool that someone noticed, but that's not always the case for everybody. So if you ever find yourself in that state, anyone out there who's listening, just try to build that courage up to reach out to somebody. I've done that before too with lots of people, even like whether it's my friend, my wife, or even my boss. Like I've had an emotional breakdown with my boss before, and she's helped me guide myself through a lot of major life decisions. So always appreciative of that. And legitimately, it sounds very cliche, but working out. There is nothing better than exercising when you feel sad.
For me, it's kind of like maybe not so much working out necessarily, like the actual act of, doing my in-home workout routine, but going for a walk with Jess, or even alone, it kind of does that for me. It's just like fresh air. Like, playing poker all day is mentally very exhausting, and it's kind of isolating, right? Because I'm literally by myself. I only get 5 minutes an hour to go and like say hi to Jess, but every 3 hours or so, some other poker player I saw doing a vlog, he said you should try and get fresh air, once every 3 breaks or 4 breaks or something. And now I try and do that all the time, and the weather's been awesome. But that for me, it's just like, and it all started because of our challenge to start off the year. We did the whole month of the double workouts. I was doing a walk every night, or trying to do a run, and just like kind of clearing my head. For a while I was doing it just like after poker sessions where it's so long, especially on Sundays, and I'm playing like 14, 15 hours, and sometimes less. But just going for a walk and just putting on music by myself is I don't know, it helps me.
Me too, man. I relate to that so much. So like the first day back that I started to work out again was like Monday, and I went out and I went for a run, and I just told my wife, I was like, you know what, I just need to go outside and go for a run after dinner. Do you mind if I go? Because she's got to watch Nico, obviously. Like, yeah, go ahead, absolutely, go for a run. So I go out there, I put my headphones on, and that's the other thing that's great about Spotify is that you can just shuffle new music all the time based on the genres that you like. So I start off listening to like one of my favorite, like usually my favorite rock stuff, workout stuff. And then I start to listen to new music, and just like, it's so cool listening to new music that you never heard before when you're by yourself alone outside and just outdoors going on an adventure. You don't know where you're going. I usually just pick a new path every time. But I ended up going during a really, really cold night. It was the sunset. And I ran, and it felt good. And I ran up to this hill that I usually do hill sprints on during the summertime. And it was just, I stopped up there on top of that hill and just kind of looked around during the sunset. And it was just so cool. Just seeing like the gradients of like the colors in the sky and the night, the skyline of my neighborhood, and kind of took
Awesome.
like that big deep breath in, and just, you get that realization that it's going to be okay. You just got to work through it. Right.
That's great, man. And like, and I guess to add to it for me, especially when I go for walks and stuff, we started doing it a bunch last fall. Jess, my mom would come for a Saturday, and we would go to these, and you're saying, we would go to these paths that, I've lived in Hamilton for a good chunk now of my life, and I've never done this kind of stuff. Jess and I don't go, but with my mom, it was like, let's just try out this trail, or let's try out this trail. And it's fun to go somewhere where you're exploring and you're discovering it, for the first time. But as well, I don't know what it is. I find water to be so soothing to me mentally, like just being, so even going for a walk, and there's a lake involved, there's something, and it's like, especially if the water's calm.
A babbling brook.
A babbling brook, yeah. But yeah, I don't know what that does it for me too. Just, especially being up at a cottage, obviously that makes sense because you're kind of unplugged, but I could just sit down by a lake literally all day. There's something soothing about water to me.
Right.
I guess it's just consistency, but so, I get that, finding that place where you can be, take a deep breath and realize, this is a good thing, what you're doing in the moment. And, it's all good.
So I would say talking to someone for sure, right? Friends, family, coworker, therapist, that's the best. That's like the first thing you should do. I would say that's like the first thing you should do before exercising, before eating right, whatever. Talk to somebody, because that is the spark, the ignition that just gets you out of that funk, because then you can get shit off your chest. And once you do that, then you have that motivation to do more. That's going to be just more positive. So that you talk to somebody, you exercise, and then the next thing you should do is exercise. Go outside and listen to music. So exercise, music, right? Privately. Don't work out with anybody. Do it privately. Go outside, go for a walk, and put headphones on. All right? Pick whatever song.
I could picture, like if you have a trainer or somebody, like, when I used to work out with someone, I think I would find that soothing as well. Like just being with another person, because you're kind of pushing yourself in that moment and you share that with that person too. So I guess it depends, right? Like, but yeah, like if you're doing it by yourself, just kind of in your own head and whatnot. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's all right. I agree. Yeah. Like to each their own. For me, like that works best for me, right? Like going out for a private walk and listening to music and just kind of unwinding, and not having to look at anything that's related to work, even your social media accounts. It's just, you're just out there for a walk and you're listening to music. The only thing you should be looking at for your phone is just to pick the next track. And then the last thing I would say, like I just put a third tool out there, is increase your sleep cycle, right? Look at the time you're going to bed. Look at the time that you are waking up. I was very much just checking my Fitbit tracking. I was only getting like, let's say 5 to 6 hours of sleep every night, right? Which compounds the problem. So, look at your sleep cycle and increase that, get that to 8 hours. Try to look at your phone before bed. We all kind of generally know these things to make our lives feel better, but like, it's very important to put that into action when you're in a funk, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And saying all that, you could also make money while you're walking outside with this new app.
Oh, here we go. What's it called again?
There's a great new app out there.
Oh my God, how much are they paying us to say this?
They're not paying us anything. I just personally think it's a great app. It's for Android. I'm pretty sure it's for iPhone too, but I'm not 100% sure. There is an app called Optimity.
It's so good, it just rolls right off the tongue.
It's okay, so it's pronounced Optimity. It's spelled OPTIMITY. Optimity. Okay?
Exactly as it sounds.
Exactly as it sounds. It is a fun, convenient health app that rewards your healthy daily activities. Track your steps, get health tips, and challenge friends to earn prizes. Check out myoptimity.com. That's straight from their website.
Use referral code.
Yeah. Actually, I do have a referral code.
Oh my God.
It's okay. I'm not going to share. It's fine. I will put a link in the description below with my referral code in it.
Does your Fitbit like on your phone? So I just got a message right now at 10 o'clock saying it's time to get ready for
Yes.
for bed.
I set it to 10. I set that specific message at like 10:30, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever touched the time, because it is funny that I get that every day, and I look at it and go, I'm not going to go to bed for like 2 hours.
Change the time, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It just never bothers me.
It's in the app.
It's kind of like if anything, I'm like, all right, thanks for letting me know, Fitbit. Okay, Mom.
So this app was kind of like a successor to a previous app called Carrot Rewards. I'm not sure if you ever heard of Carrot before, but Carrot Rewards is basically like the same idea. So it tracks your steps, right? So you can either use a Fitbit or you can use your phone to track your steps, and then you sync your steps to this application. So I've synced my Fitbit to this application, and it rewards you with quote unquote gems that you can then trade in for prizes. So for example,
what sort of prizes we talking?
Well, for example, I have a daily goal set on Optimity called for 6,000 steps. You earn 30 gems. Those 30 gems, if I go to rewards, I could trade that in. So they have raffles, right? Like you can't really see it on the webcam, but for raffles, I can trade in 15 gems for a raffle to a $50 Hotels.com gift card. I could trade in 15 gems for a $50 Amazon gift card, or even like Petro points. There's other rewards, or even discounts to products. So, for example, there's like this humidifier. If you trade in 200 gems, you have 40% off on a humidifier and all that. And that's how that's how this company makes money. Obviously, it's through advertising. It's all company advertising that they're kind of selling back to the consumer. But it's a great way to motivate yourself to walk, because if you sync your steps to this app, you can trade in these gems for chances to win these raffle tickets, or a Petro Points gift card, or you can donate your gems to breast cancer, right? So whatever, I don't know what the equivalent is in cash, but you can donate all your gems, and they actually pay out to breast cancer research, which is really cool.
Cool.
And plus they have these daily activities called Learn and Earn. So you have all these different quizzes about food, about stretching. So it gives you an activity like, let's do a 5-minute stretch, and we'll give you 50 gems, right? No cost to them at all, but like it just
seems way better than walking for 6,000. better value.
And then obviously, based on they need to make a profit too. So based on that, like they have insurance companies and health companies that want to gather consumer data, right? So like they'll send out a quick quiz. The quiz takes some of the quizzes take like 40 seconds. They're super, super fast, less than a minute, and they give you 50 gems, and then you can toss that into referral. Like all the answers are anonymous. Nothing's taking your personal data in terms of like your first full name, your address, or whatever. It's just quizzes and surveys that these companies want to know about their market share, right? Right. And they can also challenge a friend. So if I can set up a 7-day challenge with Jim, for example. If we walk 6,000 steps every day for 7 days, we each get 100 gems, and it gets multiplied once you.
I'll destroy you.
For sure, and you can obviously set whatever steps you are. But yeah, check out this app. I'll send it to you, buddy. Like I recommend you do it. Like if you're walking anyway, you might as well just double up on a chance to win like a $50 Amazon gift card, right? So I do that. Like I walk my kid to school, which is great. So I get those steps in too.
Are you going to keep doing that in the winter? You think?
Walking?
Or maybe
walking? Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
like
Absolutely.
walking him to school.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good for you guys.
Walking, like I just throw warm stuff on. Like actually, what was I doing last year that was getting me walking? It wasn't the scavenger hunt. What was it called? Geocaching. I was big
Oh
into
yeah, I
geocaching
remember
last
you
year.
talking about.
So I might get
That's
back into
right.
that this year. And geocaching is another great way to like just get yourself out there and just find cool stuff that's hidden in the world.
Right.
You know, I'd recommend anyone who's out there and wants to go out for a walk, do some geocaching, download a geocache app, go find it because there's tons in your neighborhood.
Yeah, it's when you showed me, it was crazy how big it is.
It's
Like
huge.
I thought it would be like a small community thing, not like, something like global.
And some are
basically.
really hard to find. There was one that was like in this small little tiny plastic tube on a tree branch above site level, and I spent like 45 minutes to an hour circling this one area because I'm reading all these hints, trying to find it. And dude,
Oh,
the
man.
joy on my face when I just looked up and saw it on the tree bench, I was like, oh, there it is.
I wish I could have watched that happen.
It just
live. I would
be
like,
circling trees for hours.
yeah, it would be amazing. I'd sit that's like a spectator sport for me. Because I'd be happy. I'd be just as happy when you found it to watch that reaction too. But just the like watching you get frustrated to the point of like, I don't know, success,
For sure.
right? And when you
For
get
sure.
there, victory.
So how's Jess doing, buddy?
It's good. I mean, she's doing well. She's actually under the weather.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I guess we finally see a bunch of family, and I guess some like I guess the last year her immune system's just not as strong maybe as it was, or maybe it's something because of she's pregnant now, so I don't know, but yeah, she's weird. She's like, I haven't been sick in so long that it's it's just been a while. So now she's just kind of a cold.
Yeah.
But
It's been
she
going
always gets mad
around,
at-
dude. Like I had it, Terry had it,
Yeah.
Nico had it, Nico got it a second time. My coworker Brian had it, and my coworker James had it. Like it's just that's a lot of colds in my personal network that I know of. Like it's been going around a lot, and it sucks too because of the pandemic. So no one knows what you have, right? And you got to get
Yeah, she went and got
Yeah,
a
it
test
sucks.
and for COVID. And she's supposed to go to Seattle on Monday. So I hope she still got 5 more days, but hopefully she'll be good before she goes to, if it was like seeing this many people kind of got her sick and her immune system isn't back to full health, then she's going to be on a plane and then fly to a city and be there and then be back, being in an airport and all this stuff where, there's tons of germs and things like that. But we've been really good, since the pandemic of using hand sanitizer and not touching things and washing our hands. And so yeah, I know she'll be fine, but yeah, I mean, like it's just kind of disappointing, especially, she just has no energy. She actually made us a amazing homemade like vegetable soup kind of. It was more like I honestly don't know. I want to say it's like carrot soup, but it was so good. We had something in a little pub in Belfast on our honeymoon, and she tried to recreate that because this soup was so good. Probably the best soup I ever had in my life. Good soup. And I didn't know that was a thing on TikTok. Jess showed me that today.
I'm so happy you recognize that meme.
Adam Driver is like a meme machine. Yeah. That guy. So yeah, sorry if that's if anyone doesn't know, Adam Driver is an actor, and they're making you can just do so much with his stuff. He makes fun of himself.
It's just an audio clip from a movie, and then everyone's quoting that in their TikToks, basically.
Yeah. Actually, it's from the show Girls, which Jess did watch.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. What was it? Oh yeah. So anyways, I tried to recreate this soup because it was so like I ordered it first, and I got a soup and a turkey club or club sandwich, and the soup was so good that Jess ordered a bowl after
Oh,
she tried the
wow.
bite. She's like, I gotta get this for myself. We, you know, it was just so. Anyways, we tried to recreate that. It was pretty good, and so I mean, she's feeling better
Yep.
anyway. It's, but yeah, just disappointing. And I've had a crazy good immune system my whole life. I hardly ever get sick. So, you know, that's when she gets mad at me because she's like, how is this fair? And I wish like I could do it for her.
Oh, that's good of you.
But unfortunately it doesn't work out like that.
I know.
Like that, but,
It's hard too when you're, and then especially when you become a father too, man. Trust me, when your kid gets sick, it is brutal because you just want to take that from them, right? You want to take their sickness away from them. I remember when Nico was a baby and he was like, can't remember exactly, but it was like 4 to 6 months old. He had a cold, right? And at that young of an age, you freak out, right? Like, oh my God, my baby has a cold, and just like you start to panic a lot. Yeah. I don't make you scared or anything like that, but you'll deal with that sort of stuff. And
speaking of Nico getting a cold, how is the little guy?
Thank you for asking. He's actually a lot better now. He's back in school. He is actually way more advanced than what he's way more advanced than what he's learning in school. He's learning how to count to 10 right now. For those that don't know,
this guy can recite pi to 10 decimals.
My son is pretty advanced for JK right now. But you know,
that's a testament to your wife, man.
Yeah.
With how
I had nothing to do with it at all.
I did not say that. But you know, like if because it seemed like, yeah, I would see videos that you guys would post or Terry would post, you know, or you would post when you were there, and especially in the last year, I'm sure too, of him, you know, like having fun but learning at the same time, and not just, I don't know. I feel like he's smarter than everyone always says this. I think like no one's going to be like, yeah, my kid's way behind. Like everyone's kid is always, oh yeah, this like this kid is so smart for 4 or 3 or whatever. But yeah, I really do think you know, seeing him and the way he talks and can read and stuff, you know, I know he can count higher than 10. So, for instance, how many floors does the CN Tower have?
Yeah, exactly.
Or I forget what it is.
I don't know the answer, but he could tell you.
How many stories?
He could tell you.
Yeah, he would know the number. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty advanced for JK right now. Like he's even turning on my wife's computer, let's say when we're cooking dinner, and he boots up this he goes to the website that he knows and loads this game called Smash Karts. That's like a Mario Kart ripoff flash game, and he loves this game. But like just like he knows to turn on a computer, log into his profile, open up a browser, type in crazygames.com, load a specific game that he wants, and like use the keyboard to play it at 4 years old.
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, his weak points right now are fine motor skills, so handwriting, using a pair of scissors, and socializing, right? So it's so good that he's in school and he's learning all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
His teacher told me that he's just grilling that into him right now, like teaching him how to write by keeping his wrist down on the table, because he like, you know, they grab like a pen like this, you know, they just grab it awkwardly when they're trying to write. So that's all he's doing. He's just practicing handwriting. He's getting better at it. The other day he cut out the numbers 1 to 10 from pieces of paper, and he glue sticked them in the correct order, like that, and that's hung up on the fridge with my new magnets.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah. Oh yeah, those magnets.
And it works, man. I'm telling you, the magnets work. Like, cause the other day we were making dinner. He's like, "Mom, look at my work. It's on the fridge."
Oh yeah.
Right. So that positive
cool. That's
positive
really
affirmation. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's doing well. He's back in school. He's been there for a few days now, and he's now mentioned a few friends that he plays with, which is really cool. So when your kid starts telling you like their friends' names, right? Then you know that they're
Right.
doing a good job socializing. So seems to be generally happy. We're happy that he's back in school and not sick again. You know, it's just first time in school, man. He's got to build up an immune system, like you said. It'll take till like probably December until he gets all these new germs into him and his body fights it off.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's really cool. You know, especially being able to identify, maybe like you said, like handwriting. Jess and I were actually talking about how. Do you remember I guess they don't teach it in elementary school anymore. Do you remember doing? Because we were talking. Actually, you know what it was? She saw the episode where we were talking about how to hold a pen, and I was saying, like, can you imagine having to do an essay and hold a pen, like with all of your fingers needed? Like, if you take one away, you drop it, or you would have no control to actually write. Like, that's to me why, if somebody taught you to hold a pencil or a pen like that, like they did it wrong, because you shouldn't be putting that much effort in. And then we went on the topic of cursive writing and how I remember them saying, when you get to high school, they will not take anything that's not in cursive writing. And then in high school, I don't think I used cursive writing more than 10 times. They were like, no, I don't care, because like we can't read it. And then when you're in university, like for the most part, you type stuff up. Right. So it's like you're not doing a handwritten, you know, at least all the classes I did, it's not like a hand written essay that's 1,000 words. It's, you know, you type it up. So, you know, it's funny how much even in our lifetime things have changed. And I've talked about it before. Like I think it's, you know, maybe learning French is important because you kind of like, I think it would be cool if I knew how to speak more than one language. I feel, you know, useless, especially going to Italy and stuff. And when we went on the honeymoon, it would be cool to be able to communicate with someone on their terms, not on my terms, because English, it feels like everyone knows a little bit of English for the most part. But like, you know, I could hardly speak any Italian. I knew a couple of things, but at the same time, like it almost makes more sense to me to like take out French from, you know, grades 1 to 9 and teach a computer class, because that's going to come in way more handy of how to, you know, maybe how to run a website and whatnot. But then how do you define like a curriculum and do that every year? But I know like you took a bunch of our friends, you guys were all in the same computer class in like grade 10.
Yeah. In Canada, it's a little difficult, right? Because we have 2 official languages. So, you know, you kind of do need to respect that and have that in school. But I think, maybe up to a certain grade, it can become an elective. So maybe like you learn French up to like grade 10, let's say, and then if you want to do 11 and 12 and whatever, you can do that. Actually, isn't that the way it is now? I can't remember.
we had to take it till grade 9 for sure. And then it was an elective after grade. 10 through 12.
I'm fine with that system. The courses that I do think need to be taught would be personal finance. I think that actually needs to be a requirement. But yeah, like what do you take out? Right?
And like I'm not, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm an expert. I just feel like it's a language now that, you know, even when we were in Italy, there's, you know, you can get Google Translate on your phone, which is run, you know, again, it's like a computer program that is helping me communicate with somebody else. It just like, I wish, like in terms of a point that I wish I knew more of myself was, you know, I wish I knew computers better, because I think in the future, it's a language that I don't speak as well as the average person of my age. Right. But, not a huge deal, obviously. And definitely not going to change the whole, you know, run this one up the ladder to change the whole school curriculum.
I totally agree with you. I think just in general, computers and technology is going to be the wave of the future, and we already know that. I drive to my parents' house from time to time, and in the plaza near their home down the street is a daycare for kids, but it's called Code Ninjas, and it's literally a computer programming like summer camp. right? So they're already appeasing to kids who want to program and want to learn how to write code, want to learn about tech, maybe even write an easy computer game, that sort of stuff. So I do see that sort of shift. And of course, look at my son, right? Like he's obviously I have the technology to give, the technology access to give to him, and I know it, so I can teach it to him, when he's young. But more kids nowadays are getting more and more access to technology at a very young age. We did too, but like more so even at 4 years old, toddler age, right? They're able to play with a phone. They can move around and go to YouTube and search for things and learn how to type, right? At such a young age. I learned how to type I think it was like grades. Oh man, let's say grade 7
for us, where it was literally like have your hands in this form, and then like if you're on H and you go up, like that's Y, and then if you do your middle finger, it's U. Like that's how I learned, and it was kind of like, okay, this is down, and the idea was that you're not supposed to look, obviously. But I actually, what kind of did it for me was MSN. Back in the day, I did so much typing on MSN in high school that it actually helped me learn the computer. And now, I think even Jess has commented a couple of times that I type really fast. But like, for WhatsApp, I use WhatsApp and Telegram on the desktop version, so I don't really use it on my phone. I just find it faster. Right. But it's just one of those things that it's funny how it wasn't school and I learned it, faster on my own time because I just wanted, like, that was a crucial thing, I guess, in high school, like talking to you on MSN or a girl you liked, or, having groups, and like we all used to change our names to something stupid. Or like, mine was always like an Alexisonfire lyric or something dumb. Right. So, but anyways, yeah, it's that really helped me on my typing, which is funny because we didn't really have a computer growing up. I don't think I had a computer. We had one, but it was like, I don't even know what we did on it. We had a couple of games and that was it. Like I played Asteroids or something, but I wasn't like doing things on the computer. There was no internet really back then.
Right. We had, I guess my very first computer experience was Reader Rabbit. And we actually had Reader Rabbit in my kindergarten class in the school that I went to. They had an old, I guess it was a Mac, but I had to load Reader Rabbit in JK or SK, whatever it was, on like this 5-inch floppy disk, right? So shout out to Kevin Leary. Kevin Leary, if you don't know, he was the creator of Reader Rabbit. Like I don't know if he created the Learning Company or he owned the Learning Company or whatever. He was a co-founder. But that's one of the things I know about Kevin Leary is that he helped develop Reader Rabbit.
Yeah, he's got his. I mean, now especially, he's got his fingers in many different. Many different pies.
So he was in tech early, man. Good for him.
Yeah, but specifically learning as well. Like that's his space. Right. Whenever somebody comes on Shark Tank, or he's not on Dragon's Den anymore, but whenever he was the main guy, and they had some sort of learning tool, it was like, this is where you have to license it. I actually always thought he was amazing on those shows because he knows what he he wants in terms of the deal, and he just sticks to it. And when you watch somebody, I guess he could definitely not be liked by some people for sure. But, I see, I guess how he made money, but kept it as well. Right. Like this is my limit for what I want to spend on this company. And he just won't
he's the Simon, what's his name? Simon Cowell of the
American
Idol. He's the Simon Cowell of the finance world, right? That's probably why he's not liked as much.
Yeah,
but everything that he says is correct.
He has some good lines too, over time. I actually didn't know that was the specific company.
Yeah, the Learning Company.
Because we didn't have anything. I think we had a computer in grade 2, but then, I didn't use one again until grade 7, and then in high school, or maybe maybe grade 7, grade 8 is where I actually started playing chess with a friend from elementary school on pogo.com or something. It was like this website that had all these games, and then I think we switched over to Yahoo. And now I just play on chess.com. So if anybody's listening and plays chess, hit me up, because I'll take you to school.
Oh, wow. A challenge.
Well,
chess masters, please message us.
Yeah, oh boy. I'm not that good, but I mean, for what I play, on chess.com, my rating is usually in the 1400s. Sometimes I go on a bad losing streak and I'm in the 1300s. But what's funny, because I play with a couple of our friends, and I feel like they get the better of me when we play, because it's just one turn. So like I could take 24 hours and decide my next move. And I think when I do that, I'm not in the rhythm of the game. I don't want to make an excuse, but when I play people online in like a 5-minute match, I do much better because I can control the tempo, and I feel like they blunder more than I do. But I blunder all the time against one of the guys in our workout chat, and I think in the beginning I was beating him, but now it's either even or he's better. But he definitely, has studied and learned things more than I have. But it's pretty cool. Chess is just such a fun game.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta get back into that. Stop playing Quake so much. I've actually gotten so good at Quake that people now gotta get upset at me. Two things happen.
Oh, really?
When I joined the Quake.
Do you think you're cheating?
Yeah. There's a few people that think I'm cheating. Two things happen when I join the Quake server. Everyone says hi because they know me, and then there's usually a few people that just start getting upset that I'm just killing them too often.
This is the bragging section of CTL this week, where we both brag about our skills in computer games.
Speaking of which, we're now at 45 minutes. We should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, that'll be all. Actually, I did want to say one thing on my list last week for movies. I think I would take off Lion King and put Social Network in there instead. I love the Social Network.
Okay.
I think Eisenberg is amazing in that. I love the script, how it's told.
The music's great.
Like the who did that?
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Yeah, they're so good. Sorkin can write a mean script, and that one he nailed it. It's one of my favorite movies. It's just like you just blink and you get so immersed in the story right away that, for me anyways, personally, I all of a sudden it's like 40 minutes in or something, and you're like, oh, holy crap. Like, every time that happens to me. So anyways, that one I would put in there.
And go watch Desperado.
I think I'm going to watch it tonight. I'm going to watch it.
It's on Netflix. Enjoy. It's a great shoot 'em up. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to our podcast. This has been episode 36 of Crushing Through Life. If you enjoy our show and would like to follow us for more, check us out at linktree.com/Crushing Through Life. Jim, have a great week, buddy.
You too.
Later.
Thanks.